Hi guys, Ziando here with a Battle for Gilneas gameplay. I know I brought you all the others except for Strand, which you'll probably never see because I hate Strand, or Alterac, or IOC. You probably won't see those ones, unless you guys request it, which is impressive, and I would do those for you, but those are like way too short and not as team-oriented as I like them to be. Anyhow, we're doing Gilneas. Gilneas is pretty easy, cap 2 bases, win most of the time. For this one, I think we got a 3 cap towards the end, but I don't quite remember, so just bear with me as I kind of go through this. Me and Val immediately took off, and we decided that we would go for Lighthouse since the rest of our team was going to go straight to Waterworks, which benefited us because we work really good as a pair, and we know that if we hit a point, then we can normally take it pretty easy. So right here, everybody left. As is usual in a random, everybody left Lighthouse for somebody to guard, but nobody was guarding, and they all just rode past us to go try to take mines. Well, me and Val just flipped past, and then Val went up, and he noticed nobody was there. So he went to go get the cap, and I told him I would just slow them, which is what you saw. I threw down a vortex, I fairy fired the rogue so he couldn't get past me, unless he used cloak, and I used a typhoon to kind of daze them when we took the base. Pretty easy cap for us, pretty easy win. And we just came in and we just pulled them all back, and that's me typing for Sparta because we felt like a boss since 3 guys came in and got wiped up instantaneously. So here we are, we're at Lighthouse. Our whole team is starting to kind of pull off of Waterworks because their whole team went over there and I guess killed them, and now they're starting to come over here to engage. And it's just us 3. I think we have a healer with us this time around, which makes for a very interesting fight. They keep trying to engage, and as you see, I am immediately starting to dot. There's a couple healers hiding out in the back. If you guys are wondering what the add-on is with the giant crosses over healer's head, that's called Healers Have to Die. It points out healers pretty easy, as you can see. Sometimes it points out Shadow Priest, depending on if they are actually healing, which is fine. You'll just have to know what the difference is. For this person, though, he was actually a disciplined priest. They did have 4 healers, or 5 healers, which is going to make it very difficult on us, but we were able to lock them up pretty easy, and most of them didn't have any gear, so this Disco Priest was probably the hardest to kill. At this point, we're kind of at a stalemate. We are killing off the DPS in the back because the healers are just taking too much damage and worrying about keeping each other up too much, but I just kind of stay back, and I always stay behind the flag because I have Typhoon, and as you see, I can just keep pushing them away from the flag just to ensure that they're not capping, and it gives me a little bit more view of what's going on the battlefield, and it also interrupts any spell casts or anything that might be going on at the time. So here we are. This Redditon was hitting me kind of hard. He wasn't an awesome Redditon, but they had killed everybody else except for me and Valfor, so we were just trying to hold them off of the flag as long as possible. When I got feared there and the rogue was locked up on Valfor, Val's like, just get the hell out, and I fast-forwarded through this because I just decided to get the hell out the waterway, and somehow this damn paladin was keeping up with me in frickin' mammal form, which was pissing me off, but he eventually gave up the chase, and I got through it. So here we are, we go back around, Valfor just rezzed, and he was telling me to go back over to Lighthouse right away, but let's wait for me to land and I can see what's actually happening. So here I am, we're going to Lighthouse, but I believe we changed our mind. We decided to take Waterworks so we could get a quick 3 cap, because this is one of those games like the team wasn't overly strong just because they didn't have enough DPS, but the DPS they did have hit somewhat hard or were somewhat coordinated. So we met up out here real quick so that we could go in together and wipe up whatever was left over there as quickly as possible and get the cap. Because as you know, 3 cap, you just need to hold it for basically 20 seconds and you win the game. So if you have any kind of competent people who can just sit there and AoE, then it's fine. So there's only DPS over here, so me and Val were very confident that we could kill them. The only downside was, obviously these guys have big cooldowns that are a pain in the ass for us, and we just start cleaning them up right away. We leave the mage alone for the most part. I just hit him with my big cooldowns while I was in Super Boomkin form, and just start immediately focusing on this Resto Shaman while Valfor finishes off the mage. And like you saw, I had dots on everything. I never not dot anything unless you're in an RPG, of course. then you want to only do about 4 targets at a time, just because they fall off of your main target pretty quickly, and you kind of lose focus, and your team will get a little pissed if they figure out that what you're doing to boost your damage. So just be careful there. It is okay to mass dot everything if you're not quite focusing anything, but just be careful, okay? Anyhow, now that you've had that public service announcement, back to the gameplay. So we go ahead and we grab Waterworks. They're going to come up here, and I immediately am like, fuck you, dude, and I go to Typhoon him. And then I realized that Valve already got the cap and decided Typhoon was a terrible idea, and I'd rather have him up here because we're bored. So we start cleaning up this Disc Priest, or attempting to, but of course Fear's so damn amazing. And once again I'm running double Trinket. I don't normally do that unless I'm in RBGs, just to get kind of a boost in damage. The only thing I've noticed is that overall, as far as boost in damage is concerned, for double trinkets, I'm not a big fan of it really anymore. I checked the proc chance on the proc trinket, and it is just not up enough for me to want to warrant taking off my medallion. So I flip back in RBGs at least, and in randoms I'll probably try to do double trinket still, just because the teams are normally really bad. So just keep that in mind. I know I told a couple guys that they should run double trinkets for RBGs, but I haven't noticed a huge difference in my RBGs that I've been doing this season, so I have noticed a huge difference of me not having a medallion, so I would put that medallion back on. If you're one of those people that I talked to and told you that, I apologize for the misinformation. Anyhow, I do still think resilience builds are very viable, by the way. As far as Boomkin's concerned, stacking PvP power is going to screw you over. If you check my stuff, I'm about half and half, and that's about where you should be. About 66% to 68% resilience right now in current gear without Tyrannical is where you want to be, and that's just so you can actually take a hit. Like, as you see, I'm in combat with all these guys, and I can actually take a decent punch. Even with this Paladin with all his cooldowns up, he's not immediately killing me. So, and I do have heals, but I also have Nature's Vigil popped, so that helps a little bit. But just keep that in mind. So at this point, all the healers and everything are joining up, and they're trying to get this base really bad, and me and Valve are just like, fuck it, along with the other. We have 3 others there, and I know we have a healer here, at least a Disco Priest, and I think that was an H-Pal as well. So we're just pushing them off the flag and kind of just sticking it wherever we can as far as damage goes. Their healers weren't overly strong, but like Disco Priests don't have to have a ton of gear right now to be really strong, so I try to lock her up as much as possible so that we can get a quick kill on whatever. Here I am, I'm just mass dotting again. I'm hoping to get some really lucky Star Surge procs, as you just saw happen to that Paladin. I got some really good Star Surge procs on both the Paladin and the Shaman there, just from the mass dotting, which gave me a really easy quick kill. The Shaman there, I'm pretty sure he got battle res really quick. Probably an instant cast Nature Swiftness battle res. It is a random, so you can battle res, and Nature Swiftness does work with Rebirth, in case you ever want to just fuck around and just mess with your friend or whatever and rebirth them really quick when you're doing really good in a battleground, in a random. Anyhow, they start pulling off once they realize they aren't going to take it, and me and Valve we're having so much fun just cleaning these guys up, and at this point we've gotten a couple people that are hanging around, so then our whole team is here. And now that they're all cleaned up, I'm pretty sure we decided to mount up and take off because, like I said before, garden flags ain't the most exciting thing for videos. So I take off without Valfor this time around, at least at first. And this is just because Valfor wanted to get the win. I don't know why he wanted the win, probably just because winning is just fun. So he decided to stay there with the DK. And then he said, Waterworks get an attack again. So I turn around and I'm like, okay, I'll just clean him up really fast. Let me help you out. So of course he's about half dead. And I'm like, I gotta be there and become the fucking hero of the day. But then I didn't end up having to do that at all. So this rogue's kind of being an asshole. He's not terribly good, and you'll see a lot of really bad rogues. The problem is when you're running twos, you're going to see a lot of really good rogues, and you're going to just be scared of every rogue. Definitely watch out for like Shirk and Toss and Poisons. Just be careful around rogues, because there's a lot of bad ones, and there's very few good ones, but the very few good ones are the ones that are going to fuck you over. So just be careful when you say you're not afraid of a rogue, because I promise a good rogue will clean up just about everything right now if they know what they're doing. So just watch out for that as far as rogues are concerned. I don't like them. They're my counter comp, basically. Anyhow, I am chilling here. I decided to pick up the sprint because I want to see if Berserking would respawn. And I really don't like leaving Valfor on his own. At this point, we have two bases, and there's one base that they're controlling. There's a minute 45 left in the match, and they're just kind of doing some minor scrimmages over here at waterworks, as you saw. Rogue here, healer there. Nothing really super exciting at this point. They've pretty much given up because they know that they've lost. We're just out DPSing them and out healing them, even though they have frickin' 7 healers or whatever the hell. And this day, I remember when we were playing, it was like every group we got into had like 5 or 6 healers. It was ridiculous. It was like healers decided to go on strike and said fuck PvE and went straight into PvP. And we had an assortment of just about every damn healer in the battleground, and it was a painful day. Not because we were losing, but just because nothing would die anymore at that point. And the stuff that would die, it took like 5 minutes to kill. So it just wasn't exciting. Alright, so we decided we're going to push Lighthouse. We're like, fuck this, we're going to get a 3-cap. Actually, there's only 40 seconds left, so I know exactly what happened. We're like, fuck this, we're just going to go kill as many people as possible because we were bored out of our minds over at Waterworks. So we come over here. I immediately pop Super Boomkin for him. In case you guys didn't know what Super Boomkin for him, it's basically pop all your damn cooldowns and fuck shit up for him. As you'll see, I got my armor on. I got all my shit up. I'm like, hey, don't fuck with me. I'll rape your family. Let's play some fucking tic-tac-toe after we're done or some shit. So everything's dead, but they've kind of figured out, hey, don't let the Boomkin just go all fucking crazy on me because I'll die. And what they haven't figured out is I don't need to be there because Valfor's got my back. So I was CC'd, and that Warlock tried to create a Hellstone mid-combat, which was fucking hilarious because I don't know what he was going to think. I'll create a Hellstone and live for an extra 5 seconds. So here we are. We could have probably taken this base had we had more time, but game's over. Valfor and me did pretty good. We had a shit ton of fun in this one. I did 8 million, he did 7 million. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and you guys have a great day.